I'm absolutely enjoying answering your questions. They're forcing me to think, which is a good thing. No? Sometimes in our hectic life we don't think that much. So you're provoking me, which is fantastic. So let's move on. Our next question, Praful Gururani. Okay, Praful Gururani 5063. I hope you're doing well. Thank you, Praful. Very well. What would be your advice for someone who's looking to be a sports presenter with no experience in this day and age? The very first thing I would tell you, Praful, is I would advise you patience. Sometimes I meet a lot of people who are very talented who start talking to camera and want to do a World Cup final the next day. You've got to go through a process of pitfalls, of highs, of lows, of understanding the medium, of learning the medium, of knowing what works, of knowing what doesn't. Go back to some of your earlier work. I go to some of my writing, which at the time I thought I loved, and I thought, oh, that looks a little amateur. That looks too gushy. I go back and listen to I watch some of my tapes, which I hate doing. They come up sometimes on YouTube, and I think, who was that guy? Why did that guy get opportunities? I see young anchors who are so much better than I was. So there's a process of going through the ranks. So first of all, be very patient. Two, practice. You're very lucky that cameras are everywhere and that you can practice, and be very honest to yourself. Look at your work and say, am I good enough? Ask someone whose opinions you trust, am I good enough? And keep practicing. Today, you're lucky you can have a blog, you can have a YouTube channel, you've got something to show to people. And once you get to be a little better, once the camera starts becoming a friend, it took me years for that to happen. Just to put things in perspective, I'm still not completely 100% before the camera as so many younger people are. But once that happens, fall in love with the game. Enjoy the little things in a game. Enjoy a shot. Enjoy an interpretation of the law by an umpire. Try and focus on where the game is going. Enjoy the contest. So just fall in love with the game with expecting nothing in return. Just enjoy the game and fall in love with language. I do not like this mixture of languages. I sometimes listen to what seems to be acceptable in Hindi and I say, but where is the Hindi in it? It's 80% English, and no, I think there is a beauty in the language. Whichever language you speak, when it's spoken purely, when it's spoken well, is beautiful. That's part of our job, to communicate. It's the language we speak is the clothes we wear. So just start to enjoy that very much. So as I said, yeah, be patient, love the game, enjoy yourself, be yourself. Don't try to be like somebody. Just be yourself and understand as you get older, if you get your first opportunity, understand that television is a team sport. That the anchor, the presenter, the one in front of the camera, is only one aspect of the business. There is the editor, there is the cameraman, there is the engineer, there is the producer. They're all as much part of the telecast as you are. So learn to become a team player then. Our next question comes from Rishabh Ghosh. Once again, slightly personal question. He says, you have such a pleasant, calm demeanor. You're straight after my heart, Rishabh. May there be many, many more Rishabhs. How do you maintain it with such consistency over such a long career? Speak about the times that challenge your commitment to the job. I wish I was always calm. My worst moments have come when I've not been calm, when I've allowed the environment to get the better of me, when I've been prickly, when I've been short-tempered. I've had to work very hard on my temper, and when generally I've been affected by what is happening around me. My best years in television were when I was secure and happy. So yes, I've been affected by that. Has it ever affected my commitment? I can say with great pride and 100% honesty, no. My commitment has never faltered. My desire to be 100% team player has never faltered. I may not have been good enough sometimes. I still have bad days. Within a day, you have some good times, you have some bad times. You may not be good enough. I may have been out of my depth sometimes. All that is fine, but commitment, no, that never goes away, because when your commitment goes away, either someone taps you on the shoulder and says it's time to move, or you listen to the voice inside you that says it's time to move. Okay, let's move on. Bibhob Goswami, 5251. Do you think it backfired on India to prepare a sluggish pitch for the World Cup final? Was it our timid approach in the middle overs that cost us the game? Why, Bibhob, why? So many people don't want to remember that day. A lot of people want to hope that the day actually never happened. There have been too many of those in recent times, but it was such a beautiful journey the Indian cricket team took us on. But you ask a very valid question. Did India play too safe? 30 overs almost without a boundary. You know, playing safe is a red flag. It's a decoy. It's a path that takes you into danger. Of course, in some conditions you got to adapt your game, but largely in white ball cricket, playing safe is a decoy, and I think India laps into that a little too often. So yeah, I think India played a little too safe. I thought India should have played a little more to the weakness of the opposition, gone hard at the opposition. But you know what? It's the easiest game from the commentary box. It's an even easier game when you're watching at home. But yeah, did they play safe? Too safe? Was that an issue? I think it was. A question right after my heart. A question that I wished somebody had asked and somebody has. And it comes from Yash Mal. Yash is saying, I hear you enjoy the way I talk about cricket. Okay. How about a podcast in the Hyderabadi accent? We'd love to hear a podcast in your native language. बहुत बड़ी बात बोल गए यश मियाँ, लेकिन जो है बहुत दिनों से मेरी ख्वाहिश है, पता नहीं पूरा पॉडकास्ट कर पाऊँगा कि नहीं, लेकिन जो है ज़रूर यूट्यूब पे कभी कभी वीडियोस करूँगा अपनी ज़ुबान में, जो ज़ुबान मेरे लिए बहुत प्यारी है, जो बचपन से मैं बोलता आ रहा हूँ, वही ज़ुबान है मेरी. लेकिन जो है हैदराबादी ज़ुबान के बारे में मैं लोगों को कुछ बोलना चाह रहा था आपके सवाल के ज़रिए, कि जो है हैदराबादी कोई एक मजाकिया ज़बान नहीं है. हैदराबादी एक ज़िंदा दिल ज़ुबान है. हंसते हंसते बोलते हैं हम लोग, लेकिन जो है घर में जो बातें करते, खेलते समय जो बातें करते, वो ज़बान है हमारी. थोड़ी तेलुगु का इन्फ्लुएंस है उसमें, थोड़ा मराठी का है, इसलिए हम दखनी बोलते हैं उसको. लेकिन जो है मेरी एक कंप्लेंट है मेरी हिंदी फिल्म इंडस्ट्री के ख़िलाफ़, कि जो है उन्होंने एक ज़रा मजाक उड़ाया है हमारी ज़ुबान का. आप शाम बेनेगल की पिक्चरें देखिए या नागेश कुकुनूर की पिक्चर देखिए, वो है हैदराबादी ज़ुबान. लेकिन स्टीरियोटाइप बन गए हैं ज़रा. ये ऐसा नहीं कि कोई हैदराबादी में बोल गया तो कोई कॉमेडी सीरीज़ बन गई, ऐसा नहीं है. तो जो है मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ कि आगे चल के मैं बोल पाऊँगा, क्योंकि एक अजीब सी बात होती मेरे को, जैसा भी मैं लैंड करता हूँ, जैसे वो हवाई जहाज़ के जो है पहिए टुक बोल के लगते नीचे, जैसा लगते पहिए वैसा ऑटोमेटिकली मेरा एक्सेंट बदल जाता. मैं कभी कोई शुद्ध हिंदी भी बोल लेता हूँ मैं, लेकिन जो है मेरे हैदराबादी लफ्ज़ आ जाते हैं. और जब भी मैं हिंदी कमेंट्री करता हूँ कभी कभी, तो हमारे थोड़े उर्दू लफ्ज़ आ जाते हैं उसमें. तो है फ़र्क. एक दिन मैं ज़रूर करूँगा, लेकिन पॉडकास्ट शायद ज़्यादा लंबा हो जाएगा बड़े भाई. लेकिन जो है मैं यूट्यूब वीडियो से ज़रूर करूँगा मैं. Here's a question that I'm sure a lot of you would like to ask as well. It's a question I've asked myself a few times, and it comes from Karthik. Karthik BM says, hello, Mr. Bhogle. I know I'm of a certain vintage, Karthik, but you know, even today, when someone says Mr. Bhogle, I look behind to see if my dad is still there. Why aren't we winning ICC events? Do you happen to have a hypothesis? I do, Karthik. I think sometimes when you get to the big day, you start to worry too much. On the journey to the big day, you've just been yourself, you've played for fun, you've enjoyed it, and suddenly you come on the big day and the outcome starts clogging your mind. And we start to worry about the outcome, whether it's an ICC final, whether it's you writing an exam. Why is it that you write a test fine and then suddenly you get into a board exam and you freeze? Because now you're starting to worry about the outcome. And when you worry about the outcome, you start to put the future into the present. And when you put the future into the present, how do you live in the present? Whereas the future should be an outcome of what we do in the present. And I think that happens to everybody. It's happened to me. I'll be honest. There was one of the first World Cups, T20 World Cup I was hosting. I was very excited about it. I thought this is my moment. Everyone's watching. And that day there was an engineering failure. There was an audio failure. The cameras were, something was happening to them. It was one of the worst telecasts I've ever been on. And then I went to the 2011 World Cup. It's the big final, right? India versus Sri Lanka. One kid, I got up thinking, hey man, everyone's going to watch this telecast. And I said, no, it's game number 353 or 392 or 4 or 5. I kept telling myself that on the way. Don't think it's a big day. Don't think it's a big day. It's just another day. And even when the music was playing and, you know, the title started to play, I said, Just another day. It's just another day. Game 373, game 382, or whatever it was. And I started hearing the producer, 6, 5, just another day, okay, just another day, okay, don't get overexcited. Hello, welcome, it's the big final. That is how it was. I worked very hard to do it that way. It's much easier for an anchor. Now, when you get into a big tournament, I think that is what happens. I think when you're afraid of losing, when the fear of what might happen impinges on the present, then you start to get affected. I think that is happening. That could be happening because the pressure of performing in India is about the toughest in the world. I know most countries might say that, but I genuinely believe it is true. When an Indian cricket team plays, the pressure on them is incredible. And they start to think, what if? Not, wow, what if we win? What if we lose? We've done so well so far. What if we lose the final? And then the worries about the future start to come in the present. That's just my hypothesis from what has happened to me in life. I hope that answers your question. And that's why people talk about the process. Always make the outcomes a byproduct of your process, especially when things are going wrong. When things are going wrong, just follow the process. In my career, I've told myself on days I'm not feeling too good, play in the V, don't play big shots. When you're playing international games, the pressure is different, but keep following the process. Make the outcome just a byproduct of the process. Very easily said, but the big players do that.
So thank you for watching and do subscribe to this channel.